What's up, guys? So I got a fun interview today. You ever want to know what goes into promoting an event? Well, I got race director Shawn Smith. He runs pretty much everything for the Arenacross series. He broke down how it is to bring in the dirt, get the dirt, sponsors, pull riders from fist fights. I mean, Shawn does a little bit of everything. They got a great team at Arenacross. It all comes from having a good leader. And I just wanted to talk to Shawn and see how it is and what he's got going on. And he dropped some big news on us. There's a new class coming to Arenacross, and we've got a Australian champion who is reportedly coming on over. So check this out. I think you'll appreciate the behind the scenes that Shawn had to offer. And he's just a great guy. If you see him at the Arenacross, make sure to say hello. You guys know the sponsors: Nano Extreme, best pain solution out there. Coach Rob. And by the way, his arm pump seminars, you can't register until the 15th. I might have jumped the gun on that one. But on the 15th, go ahead and sign up. Precision Transport, best shipping company out there. Pretransport.com if you want to look like a rock star and save some money for your company. Alias MX, high quality motocross gear. Head over to Alias and check it out. And Ride Strapped, goggles, glasses, shirts, just one of my favorite companies. Chris is such a good dude, so head over to Ride Strapped, check out his shirts, goggles, and glasses.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
I blame you!
All right, guys, so when you watch Arenacross, there's a lot going on. And, you might not notice this guy unless something's wrong. But Shawn Smith, you're out there directing everything. What's happening, my man? How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great today. We're here in Michigan. We got a bunch of snow on the ground today. So snow means it's time for Arenacross.
Wow. So that brings me to my first question. You are from Michigan, and what did you do before this?
Before this, for the long time, I worked for Cobra Motorcycles. So at Cobra Moto, I was well known as Cobra Shawn. Now I'm Arenacross Shawn. But for the last 15 years, I've been at Cobra Motorcycles.
Okay, so you helped develop young talent, so you're very familiar with the sport. Did you ride much?
I did a little bit of moto, not a lot. I currently road race vintage motorcycles, vintage sidecars, actually. So that's kind of interesting. But as far as the talent, yeah, I've worked with a lot of these guys that are coming up and racing. I worked with them when they were through their youth career, when they were 7 and 8 year olds.
Oh, that's nice. So you have a relationship because you have to make some tough decisions, and at least coming from a familiar face, that's got to help.
It definitely makes a difference. And it's also, as new racers coming into the sport, the young guys, they're coming up and they're going into a racing series to come over and be able to reach out to me and say, hey, what's going on here? And how does this work? I think it works great for both of us.
Okay, so what got you from Cobra into Arenacross? Because it was the kicker. Were you part of it when it was the kicker series before it was the AMA series?
I wasn't. So I actually was at Loretta Lynn's and ran into Robbie McQuarrie and his wife Tanya, and they had just purchased the series, and we were just talking about a bunch of ideas on the series and where I saw the series going for amateur and for pro, and we walked away from there. Wasn't really looking for a job for them. They weren't really looking for me that I know of. And I called Robbie the week after, and I thought, you know what, this could work. It's something that I've got a passion for. I don't know what role you've got, and for me, and I really wasn't sure where it would fit, and went to work for Robbie, and it's been a great thing since then.
So I see you doing everything. Walk me through an event, from your point of view. How does it go? Because I saw you in California. Just, oh boy, that looked like it was thrown together a little late, and they put a little extra pressure on you. Walk me through a race day, or just the week leading up to it. Tell me how that happens and things that people might not know.
Sure. I'll kind of go through the whole event because it's kind of interesting. It starts with finding a venue and getting dirt in. So, 3 or 4 days, sometimes 2 days, we're moving dirt in through the event. And then from there, setting up everything. And that everything goes from ticketing to our audio video production to setting up everything for the racing, the structures that are on the track and where registration is going to be. So there's a lot. Our plate's full with that. We've got a large team here that helps out with it. But on race day, man, I'm all over the place. It starts from the racers moving in to, I've got media people that are upset about the qualifying process coming out of the B mains. So I'm dealing with that, dealing with live TV production, and then at the end of the day, tearing it all down and getting it all out. So yeah, my plate's full, but we've got a good group of guys and girls over here helping.
In my defense, I think I was correct on that. I think that you need to let these riders know which heat qualifies prior, like the time shouldn't matter. You either go 2-1 but I think you would agree with me on that, right?
I totally agree with you, and that's something that I hope the racers give me the benefit of the doubt. I don't always make the right decision coming into that, and there's usually a reason behind it, but I definitely hear them. And I heard how you felt about that, and it was too late to make a decision there. I didn't feel that it would have been fair to the racers making a decision there. Looking back, we could have probably made a different decision there, but either way, we make a decision and we move forward with it. So you're correct. We changed the qualifying process going through there, but the reason that all started is these racers don't sign up in time. So I look at the numbers of racers I have 3 or 4 days prior to the event. We make a decision based on TV, and then the racers, we get too many qualifying. So I need two B mains instead of one B main, and it makes it difficult.
Okay, speaking of the racers, and by the way, when you made that decision, I was like, okay, it is too late. I get it. But what I appreciate about you is that you're looking at it for the next event. You actually listen to the racers, the media, and people when we have suggestions. And no, our suggestions are not always right, but I like to hear your reasoning on that. But let's go to racers. Now, your series has a unique opportunity where guys that are trying to make a name for themselves. I don't know why more guys don't do this and make a name for themselves in arena cross because you can make money, get TV time, be the star of the show. But they're like, they're all over. How do I get there? But you guys have a unique opportunity where they can get their bikes there.
Sure. We have transport cases. So it's a case that holds two motorcycles, all of your gear, your toolboxes, spares. It holds plenty for two bikes. And we supply these. You load your bikes up in them. We haul the bikes to the next race. You unload your bikes, load it back up, and we take it from race to race to race. And it's relatively economical. I think this year we're at $2,500 per bike. So for $5,000, you could have a crate, two bikes in it, and we haul it to every race for you.
That is so much cheaper than actually driving yourself. My question is, so, okay, I'm racing arena cross. Somebody smashes into me. I got to do some work on my bike after the race. How long before I have to have that thing loaded up? Can I prep it? Or how early can I get to the next race to fix the problems?
So that every event varies, but we almost always race amateurs the day after. So you for sure have at least 2 days to load the bike up and get to the next event. And then we're always at the next events 2 or 3 days ahead of time. So you've got plenty of time to make those adjustments or changes or fix anything. And that has happened. There's racers that need to get parts and we can ship them to the next venue. We'll pick them up for you and you can put on a new set of bars on Thursday.
So, and if I want to join this program, I'm sure I have to deliver my bike somewhere. Where do I initially deliver it?
Well, this year it's going to be Boise. We put the season came together really fast this year, so we did have a handful of racers that got our bikes to us at Huntington Beach, but for the most part, everybody's picking them, bringing their bikes to us at Boise, and then we end the season in Daytona. They can get their bikes at Daytona, or we work out something. This year, one of the racers is from the Michigan area, so we'll haul the bike back here to Michigan and he can pick it up basically at his house.
And if the rider does exit the series, they can grab it at any round, right?
Grab it at any round. That happened. We had a racer last year get injured. It was no big deal. It's like last year, Robbie Wageman got injured the beginning of the season, and I thought it was great. His team owner, Chris Elliott, stepped up and gave that transportation for the rest of the year to Austin Politelli. So we were able to haul Austin's bike for him all year. And that's another great thing about this series. We do have a handful of teams getting involved and just guys that care about everybody else racing.
Yeah, now the series is weird this year in the sense that it came together. You guys did that race on the beach, which I guess that came together late. You didn't plan, like you would have liked to had more notice to get the teams and riders there. And now we have like almost a 2-3 month break before the next round. Are you going to make any changes to the series? Are those points of that first round? Because there's probably a lot of guys that go, man, I really want to do the series, but I'm already down one race. Have you thought about that at all?
We have, and the points are going to carry over. That race is going to be parts of the series. Bigger picture, we struggled with that ourselves. Is internally, do we make that part of the series or do we not make it part of the series? And bigger picture, we have a lot of visions for the series and for racing, and bringing that event on board was just part of where we see the series going, where we put these unique events such as we did Sturgis, we're added Daytona, we're doing this event here, and we've got some other cool events in the works, and we felt that there was a lot more value adding that race in and keeping it there versus just having it a standalone event. A standalone event doesn't tie it into the series as much.
I will agree with that because the Sturgis event was really cool, but it didn't mean anything. And it was like, it kind of had a little bit of a flat feeling to it. Now, I have a question for you. Speaking of dirt, you talk about you guys get the dirt. Where do you get the dirt? Is the dirt expensive? And in Daytona, are we going to use the same dirt this year?
Let's not talk about Daytona dirt. Um, so dirt, that's another one. It's all over the map. Every venue's different. Some venues, I'm on my own to get the dirt. Huntington Beach, I had to locate dirt at Huntington Beach. Some venues I go into, they've got the dirt on site. Some venues, the dirt's in the building. We go to Guthrie. It's got the one of the best dirt of any race ever, and it's there. So dirt's expensive. If it's not in the venue or at the venue, it's expensive getting dirt in and out. To give you an idea, Huntington Beach, we had to haul that dirt, and the dirt going out, it was a 4-hour round trip per dump truck load. Talking about 120 dump truck loads, and you can imagine 4 hours of driving in California dump truck. It wasn't cheap.
Holy cow. How long did it take you to set up and tear down that facility there on the beach?
Setup, we got dirt in relatively easy. We were able to get dirt in a day and a half. So, it was 2 days of setup, and tear down was not fun just because we had some issues getting dirt out. So I didn't leave there until Thursday from a Saturday event.
Wow, that's rough.
That said, most of the structures, the tough blocks, all of our registration, everybody else was out of there on Sunday, no problem.
Okay, well, now you mentioned tough blocks, and that's a sore spot for me. I had talked to Justin. I believe he's the owner of the series, right?
Yes.
So
Yep.
I talked to Justin and I said, why are you still using those blocks? And he gave me kind of a spiel that the AMA has to approve your safety blocks and they wouldn't approve some of the newer ones that I was talking about. How do we fix this, dude?
Man, if I'm more than happy to you and I jump on a call and we can find something else. Tough blocks are not great for us. Just on my side, I'm sitting here. I've got a spreadsheet up on the back. We can see it, and it's the miles that we're traveling. Those semis are going down the road. The way it is now, we've got enough tough blocks. We have to have two semis going down the road. So every other semi, we're looking at another $3 a mile to get that semi down the road. I would love to find something that doesn't take up as much space, that can be as safe also. And I don't know what the other option is. Like if you've got another option for me, I mean, it's not anything cardboard. If it's something inflatable, possible, but I don't know if you noticed, we have a lot of the triangle shape tough blocks. So those are a lot of times in places where riders would get off of the track and catch a foot peg in them or something. But I'm happy to have that conversation of something other than tough blocks. But right now it's kind of, as far as I know, it's the best option we have available to us.
I can live with that. But man, yeah, traveling and hauling two semis for just those stupid blocks that nobody likes anyway. Yeah, there's another option. I'll send it to you after we get off the show. And then did you see the triangle ones they were using in Australia?
I didn't see the ones they're using in Australia. Are they similar to ours?
Yes, but they're all the way around the track and they seem to be a little bit lower profile. The track gained about 2 feet in width, it looked like. It was pretty cool. So I'll send you that too after the show. But I think that's something we can work on. And I love that you guys are innovators in the sport and you're willing to try everything.
Because if they take up less space on the truck, or on the track, they're gonna take up less space in the truck, and we can save on some transportation costs. These racers can make a little bit more.
Yes, and that's what I love. Is there a specific percentage of payback, or are you guys just paying back what you can at the events? Because I know if you're a top racer, like if you're Ryan Brees, you make more money in a weekend at Arenacross than you would racing a supercross when you do expenses and everything. How do you guys determine the pay for the events?
Really, it's when it first started, Robbie was great at this. Robbie wanted the racers to make good money, and Robbie invested a lot of money into the series on infrastructure, on a handful of different things, personnel and stuff. The payout was very large, a percentage jump from what the racers were getting in the past. We've maintained that. The racers are still making good money. At the end of the day, it's still we got to put a budget to it and look at what money we have. And if we can get more money, then we add them. I've got some things going on now. I'm happy to get into it, and it's really I'm just making phone call to sponsors and trying to get a little bit of extra money. And if that we get some money, it can go to the racers.
And I will say, if a sponsor jumps on with your series, so what they pay Feld to have just a few tough blocks, you could probably almost be the headline sponsor. You're going to get way more bang for your buck if you sponsor Arenacross. So if you want to get involved, they can contact you.
Yep, just reach out to myself. I can get them in line. I can take care of it probably. If not, we've got a couple people over here that help out with sponsorships. But I'll give you an idea. I'll jump on that. I'm looking for a sponsor right now for something we have going on. And every dime that that sponsor gives us is going to go back to the racers. There's not some coming in for us so we can get the semis down the road or so we can get paid. Every dime that they're going to give us was going to go back to the racers.
So, and that's the thing with an Arena Cross series, you guys don't have these gigantic revenue streams. You're not filling an entire stadium. You got these smaller stadiums. I'm sure you make a little bit off the Ride TV app. What does it cost to produce one of these events? Approximately. You don't have to give me the ball and like approximately, what does it cost to set up and have an event?
It's, man, I don't know if I can give out that information.
Okay,
But
well, I don't want to get you in trouble, but I
a
was
lot
just
more than people would think. I can tell you that much. It's a lot more. I mean, I can just imagine what it costs to rent one of the stadiums that Felds goes to because I know how much it costs to rent our stadiums and do the TV production and everything else. It's got to be expensive, but it's well into the six figures. It's not seven figures, but it's well into six figures.
Yeah, and that's tough because I do my simple math and I'm looking around the arena going, how many tickets were sold? Oh boy, well, are they going to break even? And I worry about you guys because I know how hard it is to run these series and stay profitable. But I do appreciate that you guys are bringing the riders with you as you grow, and I really want this series to grow. And speaking of it growing, Canada this year, you're going over the border. What was that decision and what was behind that?
Well, so a handful of things. We always wanted it. We really thought the next evolution was FIM. We become FIM. And Justin, the Jetworks crew up in Canada who run Triple Crown Series up there, they came on board the last year. And obviously Justin's tied to Canada. So we had some things going on that gave us some connections there. But it was just an opportunity to be in FIM North America. I mean, it's weird the way things are. Mexico is actually not in FIM North America. That's a Central America, but we tried to look at a Mexico event also because we thought that would be really neat to do a US, a Mexico, and a Canada to bring this on. And honestly, our two Canadian rounds are phenomenal. On Friday, I spent the day visiting Toronto. It's actually both Canadian rounds are tied to motorcycle shows. So this is one of those things where we just have a great vision, and Justin is outstanding about this. We're not just going into a venue where we have 3,000 to 6,000 spectators sitting there. We're going into Toronto's got, I think that like they get 60 to 80,000 people through the motorcycle show, and they're going to be able to come in, and we're going to be right in the middle of the motorcycle show. And it was really great to work out. We're on Calgary on one end of Canada, and then we're in Toronto at the other end. So I think we hit the right places in Canada to go to.
I hope so, and I think it's a great idea, and that's why I wanted to make sure you told people about that travel program because there's a lot of privateers that go, well, I can't go to Canada, and they write off the whole series. They actually can, and it's not very much money.
I'll even throw this out there. We haven't talked about this too much, but we have some logistics that work through. But if there's racers that want to do the series and they don't know how they get their bikes into Canada, I would be willing to do something special for them, even if you're not doing the transport for the year, that we will help you get your bikes to Canada for you.
Wow. See, look at the fact that you're willing to work with the riders and treat them like the high commodity that they are. That's why I like this series so much. Now, in fact, we talked about this before we got on air. I don't know if you can announce it yet. We had the electric class that was there last year. It is no longer. I guess Stark pulled their money to World Supercross or whatever they're doing, but they decided to go a different direction. But you're looking for a different class. Can you share with me what you're thinking about?
Sure, we're going to add a lights class. We're going to bring back the Arenacross lights class. We've really wanted to do it. We've struggled with what the class structure really looks like for the last few years. We didn't want to limit the guys that had 450s and weren't on 250s. We didn't want to limit them. We would have never got an Austin Palatelli in to race because he's too big. So 250s are expensive for a team to compete on the series across the whole season is if it's just 250. So we wanted to add a 250 class and we wanted to limit it. So we're not going to allow the top 5 guys in the points to race the 250s, but everybody else has a 250. They're going to be able to come down and race the rest of the series with us. And we want to bring the class in to give those guys a place to race. Plus we want to have another another group of racers to highlight coming out of the event. We don't want to just have the top three every week. We don't want to just talk about them. We want to talk about another whole story to it and bring some awareness to those racers. We think that the Arena Cross Lights class is the perfect class to do that with.
I totally agree. And I don't know if this is out there, you can confirm or deny, but I heard the former champion, Luke Clout, might be joining the series when it resumes. Do you know anything about this?
I've heard this, but you'd be surprised the racers I get phone calls from that want to they talk to us and want to join the series. So it's incredible. I'd love to have Luke with on board with us.
Yes, that dude is talented. I was annoyed when he did the Australian race and they disqualified Dean and he acted like he won. But other than that, but I mean, that's nothing. That's racers being racers. I really enjoy, and I think if he adds to that series, he'll be an instant contender. And the addition of Cole Thompson this year, damn people! I don't think people understand how talented he actually is. He's going to be a problem for these guys.
He's definitely he he is one that's come in that's going to shake things up. I mean, Ryan Brees, the guy's finished second the last 2 years to someone else coming in and stealing his thunder. He had to deal with Kyle Peters the first year and without one flat tire at one event and without Kyle Peters having some racer's luck, which he put himself in that position, Ryan Brees probably would have won the championship 2 years ago. Last year, he had Vince Freeze on his team. Obviously, Vince is Vince. It was a team. I mean, Ryan was still faster at a lot of rounds, and he comes in this year and he thinks he's that guy. Then Cole Thompson signs up, and that's just one more guy that's going to be a contender against him the whole season.
Oh yeah, Brees is a dog though. He's going to fight. He doesn't care who it is. If Jet Lawrence showed up, Brees doesn't care. He wants to go, and that's how he's going to fight. So if Cole's going to beat him, he's going to have to earn it. But he looked. I couldn't believe how comfortable he got on that bike so quickly.
Definitely is going to be interesting. I think that's a rivalry I see in the making that's going to bring back the old arena cross days that we all enjoyed of maybe some bikes throwing down and some fists coming up and maybe even a little excitement after the events.
Oh, geez. And I do kind of I love that your broadcast steers into that stuff and they tell us the storyline and they're not scared. Kristen gets down there and really asks the guys about what happens and rumors, and I absolutely love it. But you had Vince, and we had a lot of that last year. Now, let me ask you this. When that happens,
we won every moto. We're having fun. We won every moto, and yeah, we'll keep it rolling.
People come to you, they go to AMA. How does it break down when there's a dirty riding and then maybe a scuffle afterward? Who handles that? I did see you wrestling with a guy at one point.
Well, obviously, the whole team over here cares about that. We want to keep it racing and on the track, but we're at the end of the day, we're an AMA / this year an FIM series. So the AMA is there. We have an AMA referee on staff that's taking care of things. Bruce Richardson's our AMA ref last year and this year, and that's his call on all of those things. So anything that goes on for punishment or anything that he sees on the track, that's his call to make.
Do they ask you your opinion?
We usually talk about it. Everybody sees something a little bit different. So if you just take one person's opinion and what they see on the track, it's probably not the best thing to do, but we've got, fortunately for us, and everything happens really quickly, but we have TV, so we can go back. We have went back and looked at things on TV, and we have gotten other people's opinions. And even as far as media that's on the track, we've quickly grabbed some of their phones or their cameras and taken some shots of what happened and made some calls. So it's a team of us that makes the call, but at the end of the day, it's still Bruce's call on anything that happens penalty wise.
That's great because when I watch the NFL and I see a flag thrown and it doesn't look right and they huddle and then they get it right, I love it. Like you said, more people, if they can talk objectively and figure out exactly and everyone sees it differently. The fact that you guys did that, and I saw you do that after the fist fight in Reno, and I believe I actually got to be a little bit of that conversation. I loved it. I was like, great, I get it. I see where you're coming from. Has to be made.
Yep. Yeah, we didn't. That was one where everybody's tempers flare in the moment, and we had to make a decision. I think it was Adam Conway.
And Blackburn.
Yep, Adam Conway, and Adam was out of line and crossed a policy that was the rule was black and white, and while none of us liked it, and probably was a little extreme. That was what the rule was, and we had to follow the rules.
You can't fist fight on the track, but it is what it is. As the fans loved it, it was one of the most replayed videos that I had shot in a long time. I'm glad they didn't get worse punishment than they got. I appreciate that you guys just did what you did because I mean, it is Arenacross. You're gonna have it's almost like hockey in the sense of it's jam packed. You're gonna have tempers flare. Racing means everything to these guys, and yeah, they're gonna fight for it. So
Yeah. Well, in hockey, I think they call it chirping, right?
yeah, chirping. I guess yeah. I
Chirping
don't
at
I don't
each
watch
other.
hockey, so I don't know. Um,
It's chirping, I believe, and you get that over here. And some guys are better at it than others, and I hope we have some this year.
and when you say chirping, you're talking like trash talking.
Trash talking, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes, I love that. But I love it when it's authentic, not the fake stuff. You really got to feel that if you're going to say it. Okay, so your job is extremely difficult. I watch you on race day. I was laughing at the California round. You're out there trying to get the main event off. You got the concrete cowboys who wouldn't leave the floor because they are who they are and they're putting on their show and they don't really care about anyone else. How do you manage all that and just like what's your priority list?
Really, it's the priority list is the racing on the track. We've got to pull that off and have it's got to be done right. So we need to follow the rules. Like last year, there was an instance where Vince Freezy wanted a certain gate pick, and that's not how the rules went. So the first priority is pulling off racing and making sure that we're following the rules and it's good racing and everything like that. And then after that, it's a show. We got to put on a good show for the TV, so we have to stay on schedule for TV, and then the in-house show. Those are the priorities, and then I mean you add in safety and the track prep, and there's a fight in the stands. There's always something that seems to take away from that. And yes, the Concrete Cowboys were part of it, but they brought a lot of attention to the racers that were there.
Oh, everybody loved it. They were awesome. I was just laughing at you because I know you're on a time schedule, but yeah, the fans there loved it. Those dudes put on a show. I appreciate them, and I would get them at any round you can.
Make it hard for us. So to give you an idea where I was at with that, they already were late getting out because the track, the area they were going had some dirt in it, so we had to sweep that up. So I was on a TV time. We're supposed to be at a commercial, then we were at a pre-produced piece. So I was already blowing out of my schedule, and we're kind of winging it with the guys back in the studio. So there I've got them in my ear, and we're trying to tell them, hey, and probably I can get these guys out of here in 5 minutes, and it's closer to 8 minutes or 10 minutes by the time we get them out. So it's just one of those things you just got to roll with it.
Oh, and I got to go back. I was thinking about the starting when Vince wanted the first spot because he was fast qualifier. That is archaic. Why does the AMA not fix that? So in Supercross and everything else, your timed qualifying determines if you're Heat one, whatever the overall time, still gets first gate pick because they had timed qualifying to begin with. The old rule when they didn't have timed qualifying, it was the fastest heat. They've thrown that out. Why can't you guys do the same?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't realize that there was an option. I didn't know that Supercross went to the first heat. They got first gate pick. That was just something that was written in our rules. I mean, a lot of this comes from just tribal knowledge of what was done in the past. So that's just always what was done in the past. And I didn't not that it's a great excuse, but that's just how we've always done it. And I'm not opposed to making a change. I don't know if I want to make a change this year. It's something we need to look at. I'd be happy to have that conversation to look at it of the pros and cons. I do think there needs to be some reward for the guys that go out and maybe they didn't have the best qualifying and they do have a great heat race that they need to get that reward for the gate pick.
They will. They'll get second gate pick because they're not in heat one. No, I get you. But no, it's small things. I appreciate it. I was just curious how the AMA made the change in Supercross, but they didn't do the exact same thing with your series. It was just kind of weird to me.
Yeah, it is. It is a little different. It's one of those that we can fix, though.
Oh, easily. So, okay, you've been doing this job for what, 5 years now?
Yep, 5 years.
Okay, you're going to go back and you're going to talk to yourself. What are you going to tell yourself before you jump into this venture? Now that you know what you've been through, what advice are you going to give yourself?
Wow, that's a great question. There's been a lot of learning to go through this, and the biggest piece of advice is it's a lot harder to monetize this and to get sponsors than you ever thought it would be. Everybody comes in and thinks this is going to be easy. I've got this spreadsheet. You were talking about the number of tickets we sell. I've got a spreadsheet right here looking at how many tickets I need to sell to make money or to break even. And I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to pick up sponsors and to get butts in seats for these events.
Yeah, and once again, I want to anyone out there that wants to sponsor the series, well, Shawn, where can people get a hold of you?
The easiest way is just shoot me an email at Shawn@axpro.co. But if you go to any of our social medias or any of our website to support it all, I get all of that information. So go back to that sponsor we're looking at. Like, I'm trying to put that 250 class together, and we've got a lot of expenses on our end of putting it together, for trophies and everything else that we're doing. But I just wanted the sponsor. I put together what the purse was going to be for the class. And I just want a sponsor to cover that purse. We're not talking about a lot of money, and every dime of that would go in. And is a series we decided it's important enough to add the lights class that we're going to add it regardless if we come up with that sponsor for the money. If we go in the hole on that, we do, but we're going to add the 250 class. I'd love to have someone bring it on and they could be the title sponsor for it.
Nice. I really hope we get a sponsor. So anyone out there, please contact Shawn. Anything else you want to get off your chest before I let you go?
No, I just appreciate your coverage of Arenacross. I think that we're bringing a great product out there at a unique time of year that these racers and all of the sponsors, all of the OEMs, there's not a lot other things going on. So we're bringing a unique product there. And I just really want to reiterate how we're here for the racers and for that. It's not just to have an Arenacross race, that we really do care about those the racers and sponsors.
And that is why I am so partial to the series. It warms my heart to see promoters, riders working together to grow something, and you guys care about each other. You also keep each other accountable, but it's nice to see you care a little bit. It's not just like, oh, you're lucky to be here, come on in. So thank you for that. You're doing a hell of a job. And we're going to keep this thing growing.
Cool. I'm glad to have your support and looking for you for our pre-race press conference for Boise.
You bet. I'll be there. Let me know, Shawn. So thank you, sir. I will catch you later.
Thank you.
Let's start this off by saying, we got them. The illegal sale of American motorcycle racing. I present a case that reveals how the American Motorcyclist Association's 2008 sale of its racing properties constituted an illegal transfer of public trust into private hands. My name's B. Maisie, and I'm here to stir shit up. So I made a song for you guys. It's crazy that the riders still gotta pay to race, even though these guys are just filling their pockets because they're money-hungry, greedy, stupid mother, ex-circus owners, but still got the same mindset for the Supercross. Screw Feld, screw the AMA, and screw Rob Dingman. I'm reading your obituary. It says you died in 2008. I guess selling souls is a business, 'cause you gave it all away. But your cause of death was suspicious. Lord knows your soul was lost. I am just a witness, 'cause I know who killed motocross. 'Cause I know who killed motocross. This is the arraignment for NASCAR failed entertainment. I am just a witness, but I gotta make a statement. I speak for the people, 'cause we can't remain complacent. The illegal sale American motorcycle racing. The devil is a wingman, his name is Rob Dingman. He wanna kill the future of the moto kids in dreamland. How selfish do you gotta be? Treat us like cheap property. Package us up and sell the whole sport to a monopoly. This is very legal, they don't care about the people. It's like NASCAR and Jordan, man, this practice is deceitful. Private entities manipulating what we love. The DMG extorting the AMA, a bunch of thugs. This happened to Planet Fitness, the dark side of business. Rest in peace to motocross, 'cause I will never forget it. And I will never forget it. Right on. I'm reading your obituary. It says you died in 2008. I guess selling souls is a business, 'cause you gave it all away. But your cause of death was suspicious. Lord knows your soul was lost. I am just a witness, 'cause I know who killed Motocross.